What if the next Lakers dynasty isn't forged purely on star power or sheer talent, but on the impossible gamble of timing when legend sunsets collide with rebuilding dawns? What if the fate of purple and gold hinges not just on the court, but on whispered deals in shadow front offices, on contracts weighed beside dreams and desperation? This offseason, the basketball world stands still, eyes glued to one name that has defined an era, yet now teeters on a knife's edge: LeBron James. Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truth meets purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of this drama. Now, let me unravel the mounting storm swirling around the Kings' future, a saga that could rewrite the narrative of this franchise forever. LeBron James, the man whose greatness feels as eternal as Lakers lore, found himself at the crossroads once again. Recently, he triggered his player option for a hefty $52.6 million for the 2025-26 season, a move that sent ripples through the NBA, yet beneath the surface lay an unsettling question. Will he wear purple and gold one last time? Maybe not. This isn't just about a contract. It's about the delicate balance of a franchise grappling with two realities: cherishing the final chapter of a legend, while quietly shifting its gaze toward a future defined by a young Czech phenom, Luka Doncic. The Lakers' emerging obsession. With Doncic signals a crossroads so stark, it's almost tragic, a team hesitating between honoring LeBron's quest for yet another championship in what could be his grand finale, and embracing a rebuild that may lead the Kings' final triumph. Forever out of reach. LeBron has made it abundantly clear. He is hunting for a championship in 2025-26, his potential swan song on NBA hardwood. But here's the dagger. The Lakers are signaling they're not putting all their chips on that bet. The front office is paving a path that hints more at patience than immediacy, focusing on constructing a dynasty around Doncic rather than doubling down on LeBron's last stand. This quiet tension ripples through the franchise's core, sparking wild rumors, fevered speculation, and a looming trade possibility before the next season even kicks off. Then came the firestarter, an unflinching statement released by LeBron's agent, Rich Paul, that laid bare the crossroads of hope and pragmatism, respect and frustration. LeBron wants to compete for a championship, Paul wrote. He understands. The Lakers are building for the future. He values a realistic chance to win. We are grateful for the partnership with Jeannie and Rob and see the Lakers as integral to his career. But beneath the gratitude, there's a subtle admission: the title chase now looks painfully uphill. Rich Paul's words sent shockwaves, reverberating through locker rooms and boardrooms alike. They exposed a quiet truth that the Lakers' reconstruction and LeBron's dwindling window to capture one last ring may not perfectly align. We get the challenge of winning now while preparing for the future, Paul continued. We want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage of his career. He wants to savor every season left, and the Lakers understand, support, and want the best for him. This delicate dance between loyalty and ambition has awakened a swarm of suitors, circling the king like vultures sensing opportunity. ESPN's Ramona Shelburne and Brian Windhorst, chipped in that teams, led by the Golden State Warriors, have begun quietly flirting with possible offers to acquire LeBron before the season's first jump ball. Golden State's interest isn't a sudden infatuation. For years, whispers have linked the Warriors' crown jewel Stephen Curry to LeBron as a tantalizing, if seemingly improbable, dream squad. The Warriors, flush with playoff glory but always hungry, reportedly tried to swing a deal for LeBron and Kevin Durant in the heat of last February's trade deadline. Their relentless hope to reunite Curry and LeBron, who dazzled together in the Olympics and teased the league with their chemistry, is more than a pipe dream. When asked straight up if he imagined suiting up alongside Curry again, LeBron hedged with a cryptic, "I have no idea," leaving the door wide open. Curry's own words have echoed a longing for more experiences together, regardless of whether it's as rivals or teammates. The prospect of this duo tearing through the fences once more paints a cinematic picture. But reality bites hard beneath the fantasy. Despite their desire, the Warriors face massive obstacles. Their roster is a financial juggernaut, overloaded. With elite salaries, a staggering $139.6 million tied up in the contracts of Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green alone. Butler, the likely centerpiece offered in any trade talks, has seen his durability wane, failing to play more than 65 games in a season since 2016-17. At 36, his prime days feel behind him. And the Warriors are betting heavily on their enviable cache of draft picks holding every first-round choice through 2032, which could possibly sway the Lakers if the right package arises. The question looms, how much of their future are the Warriors willing to sacrifice on the altar of a 41-year-old LeBron James, a player whose greatness no one disputes, but whose physical limits inch ever closer? It's a gamble that could either catapult Golden State back into contention or cripple them for years to come. Yet, at the center of this swirling maelstrom of bets, whispers, and strategic maneuvering stands the most powerful man of all, LeBron himself. He retains full control over his destiny, holding the rare right to accept or reject any trade, to pick his next chapter or stay in L.A. For now, he remains a Laker, but for how long? The sand slipped fast beneath this saga, and every decision, every whispered deal carry the weight of finality. The Lakers and LeBron are at a fragile impasse, their fates tangled in a story that could spark a kingdom's rebirth or unravel its cherished legacy. As a lifelong Lakers fan, I can't help but feel the aching tension in my chest, a mix of hope and heartache, as if the franchise stands at a precipice, dangling between the golden echoes of past glory and the stark uncertainty of what's next. This isn't just a player saga or a front office chess match, it's the soul of Lakers Nation laid bare. So, is this the dawn of a new empire with LeBron's final crown, or the first fracture in our unraveling? Drop your take in the comments. I'll be reading every one. Listen up, Lakers Nation, because this is the moment our hearts need to roar louder than ever. This isn't just a saga about basketball. This is about the blood that runs through every corner of the purple and gold. The legacy of a franchise? That's been the soundtrack to generations of triumph, heartbreak, and relentless hustle. The tension? It's suffocating, like standing at the edge of a cliff, with our king caught between the sunset and the dawn, and the air thick with the dread that the story we've been riding since the Showtime days might be about to pivot in a way none of us are ready for. LeBron James, our titanic warrior, who carried legacies on his back like the weight of the 2000s three-peat, who rose from the ashes of the 2010s playoff heartbreaks and bruised bodies to finally garnish his crown in the 2020 bubble with a title no one thought possible, is now the axis on which the Lakers' fate spins. Yet the axis itself trembles beneath the strain of time, opportunity, and the cold calculus of rebuilding. When you look at Anthony Davis, you see a man weathered by injuries and expectations, the hulking presence who was supposed to be the King's loyal knight, the answer to the who's next question after Kobe's final fade, but instead, now looks like he's carrying a weight far heavier than just stones or minutes, a weight of urgency, of fractured hopes, of the dismantling of something sacred. What if D, despite his talent, ends up bearing the brunt of this schism, caught in the middle of a franchise torn between honoring its past and chasing an elusive future? And what about the rising stars Bronny James and Austin Reeves? Emerging faces who represent the future, but also the present, their names whispered in the same breath as potential and unfinished business. Bronny's journey is watched under a microscope, not just as LeBron's son, but as a torchbearer for a legacy that suddenly feels so fragile, like a dynasty trembling on a knife edge with the slightest misstep. What if our future is beholden to the growth of a teenager, still crafting his identity in NBA shadows cast by his father's colossal silhouette? Reeves has become our gritty heart, the blue-collar spark plug who embodies what it means to bleed gold and purple. But can one scrappy undrafted kid really carry the team's soul in the coming storm if the foundation shifts beneath him? Now, flip the lens behind the scenes where the front office dwells, the architecture of dreams and nightmares orchestrated by Jeannie Buss, whose iron will and Lakers blood have held this ship on course through tempests seen and unseen. But what if her grip loosens? Or what if a billionaire outsider crashes the party, injecting cold cash and colder calculus into the equation? Imagine a new power player stepping into the shadows of the Staples Center offices, threatening to wrest control from tradition with promises of a futuristic empire, built on luxury contracts and flashy trades, but devoid of the heart that made us Lakers in the first place. How would that rewrite our story? Would we still recognize ourselves as purple and gold warriors? Or would this be just another chapter in a long history of decline and disillusionment? History itself is a relentless teacher here. Remember Showtime's Endless Nights, Magic and Kareem orchestrating poetry on hardwood, a spectacle that made basketball an art form in L.A.? Or the brutal relentlessness of the 2000s where Shaq and Kobe stacked rings like soldiers, a dynasty rooted in domination? And then came the 2010-14 era, where Kobe stood alone as a tragic hero fighting a losing war, the final act of a legend that left us aching and desperate for renewal, until LeBron arrived to rewrite the narrative, guiding us to our latest summit. With the 2020 Bubble Championship, a surreal victory amidst chaos, proof that the Lakers could rise again. But now, and here's the chokehold of it all, the past echo grows cold and distant as we stare into a fractured present. A season where the Warriors might exploit any Lakers weakness. And Denver, led by Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, waits poised like a coiled serpent hungry to assert West dominance. Don't overlook Phoenix, simmering with potential, and Phoenix Suns' relentless hunger to seize control. Or the Clippers, dangling like a vulture ready to pick the bones of any faltering Lakers dynasty. What if the ripple effect of LeBron's potential departure or diminished impact cracks open the West so wide that the nights of Lakers dominance slip away like smoke, leaving us scrambling for relevancy in a conference that's getting fiercer by the day? The idea of Golden State circling, attempting to lure LeBron for one last hurrah alongside Curry, isn't just a storyline, it's a pulse-pounding chance at a historic reconnection, a cinematic reunion that would send shockwaves through the league. But these dreams are tethered by brutal reality's age, contracts, health, and the fragile balance of power between contenders. The Warriors gambling away their generational draft stock for aging superstar reinforcements. It's a double-edged sword, sharper than any sword Magic once wielded on that Showtime floor. And yet, while all this unfolds, the king remains at the center, his choices weighed down by a career that has defied nature, but now confronts the immutable laws of time. His control over his destiny shines like a beacon of hope, yet the uncertainty gnaws at us, the possibility of LeBron choosing a new chapter elsewhere, turning his back on LA's bright lights after years of sacrifice, glory, and heartbreak. The sheer emotional seismic waves this would send through Lakers Nation are anything but abstract. This is the sleepless nights replaying his buzzer beaters, the delirious joy of the 2020 championship parade, the gut punches of historic playoff heartbreaks, all threatening to unravel with one move dictated not just by contracts, but by the raw human fear of fading out without another title. What if this is the ultimate Lakers cliffhanger, a franchise torn between honoring its King's farewell tour and placing the foundations of an empire around a young star still writing his legend? What if the purple and gold banner hanging in Crypto.com arena becomes a symbol not of triumph, but of the agony of a dynasty in flux? Can you feel it? The tension so thick it's nearly tangible? The gamblers in the front office, the hopeful whispers of fans, the scouts dialing numbers. The rivals salivating, all converging in a perfect storm of chaos where every decision pulsed with legacy, heartbreak, and hope. As a Laker till the day I die, here's what I see coming. This offseason is not just a series of moves, but a narrative junction where the past collides with the future in a violent, breathtaking collision. We're staring down the barrel of A story that could either crown LeBron with that elusive last ring, a grand finale worthy of legends, or shatter the franchise's soul, sending it careening into years of turmoil masked beneath shiny promises and rebuild rhetoric. Now, I want to hear it from you. Drop your rawest take below. Every true believer in purple and gold, because one thing is certain. Whatever happens next, Lakers Nation will be watching, waiting, and fighting with every ounce of passion this franchise has ever demanded. Are we witnessing the dawn of a new dynasty, or the twilight of an empire that once ruled the basketball world with an iron will? This story's not over, and the battle for the soul of LA is only just beginning.